Joining me this afternoon, Smriti Irani, former Union Minister. How do you see the mandate in West Bengal today? Historical victory. The BJP has been at it for the last 3 elections. Finally, success coming your way. What do you attribute this victory to, Smriti Irani?
I think, Navika, before I respond, this is a poignant moment where you would take a minute to pay homage to those victims of violence that was slaughtered only because they had a political opinion different from Mamata Bandyopadhyay. It is a moment to give thanks to the victims of violence, of our Karyakartas and their families that they left behind. And these are simple Karyakartas from rural Bengal, from poor families, who just with the hope of good governance wanted to deliver better prospects for their people and their communities. It is a day to remember every female victim of violence. I began my Bengal campaign in support of the RG Kar rape victim's mother who wanted to file her nomination as a BJP candidate. I saw her get heckled by Trinamool Gundas on streets, which was not a very easy sight for anybody, but more so, I'm sure, must have been difficult for the parents of the victim. So today is a day to pay homage. It's also a day to express gratitude. My leadership was extremely composed and kept the faith in the democratic process that we so enshrine, not only in our work and our ideology, but also what the Constitution mandates. It is not easy for the leadership to hold steady, especially when Karyakartas are getting slaughtered. It is also a day to give thanks to those paramilitary officials who rescued judicial officers held hostage in Malda, where there was an attempt to create an atmosphere of fear in the state of West Bengal, that if judges are not safe, what will happen to the normal Bengali voter? It is also a day to say thank you to the Election Commission, irrespective of the humiliation thrust upon them by Bhaipo and gang. They were very focused on ensuring free, fair, and transparent elections. And most of all, to the people and the voter of Bengal that believed in the BJP's promise of delivering on good governance, that believed in the Modi Bharosa that we proffered. So for me, it is I post the violence and post-poll violence, which one witnessed and you reported on in Bengal in the last assembly election. I had the opportunity of going across rural Bengal, semi-urban Bengal, met with victims. It was not an easy sight to hear the shrills, the shrieks, the cries. So today is a day to remember them and to give thank you to the voter of Bengal for believing yet again in Brand Modi.
Well, Smriti Irani, yes, Ratna Devnath, the Arjikar victim's mother, and her winning this election, do you think that was the inflection point in Mamata Banerjee's governance model, which made Bengal question?
I think that BJP representatives in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha have consistently brought about issues of misgovernance in Bengal. If you look at the BJP leadership's campaign in the state of West Bengal, be it the Prime Minister or the Home Minister, there were very specific questions asked of the Trinamool leadership. One that close to from 2014 to 2026, 10,50,000 crore rupees was made available from the Indian Treasury for development in Bengal. Where did that money go? Trinamool could not account for it. There were questions with regards to why the president was disrespected, why judicial officers are held hostage, why the chief minister blamed victims of rape and told them not to come out at night instead of ensuring that law and order frameworks in Bengal were functional and deliver justice to the average citizen. Issues of why 25 lakh fake job cards were made in the Manrega program, and that money which was meant for the poorest of the poor never went to them. Issues as to why there was a scam even in the Anaj distribution or Awas Yojana. While the BJP leadership and campaign kept the focus on these quintessential serious issues of misgovernance by Trinamool Congress, Mamata Banerjee was indulging in fish and jhalmuri politics. So my compliments to the Bengali voter that kept the focus on these serious issues and trusted the BJP with ensuring that now we bring that evidence of good governance to West Bengal as well.
Well, while you say that Mamata Banerjee kept people involved in fish and jhalmuri, The BJP also played to the gallery. You also had senior leaders go and eat fish there to dispel some of the fears. Clearly,
My
was an
senior
issue.
leadership, which is the Prime Minister and the Home Minister and my state leadership, they ensured that we focused on every issue. Even I, when I was asked, कि आपने बहिरागत বাইরের লোক, I responded in Bangla. But again, my question and my dialogue with the people was whether I eat fish or I do not, whether the Prime Minister eats jhalmuri or does not. Does that in any way respond to the issues of governance and development? Prime Minister Modi, if you have focused on his campaign, or the Home Minister for that matter, they brought up consistently issues of governance. They brought up consistently issues of illegal immigrants. They brought up consistently issues of malpractices and misappropriation of funds. They brought up consistently issues of safety of women in the state of West Bengal. So our focus in our campaign was extremely, I think, central to issues of governance. Yes, there have been many barbs that we had to withstand, whether one could eat fish or not. But Pashchim Bengal, Navika, also has Niramish people, which is people who eat vegetarian food. So Mamata Bandyopadhyay wanted the focus on these issues, but I think we successfully kept the focus on issues of governance, which is why you see this historical mandate.
There are those who say the SIR activity, the Election Commission, the ED, the CBI, the Income Tax Department have all been alliance partners of the BJP. How do you respond to them today? They said, short of calling the Indian Air Force, you did everything.
Well, troops were landed in West Bengal in the 70s also during elections. I think people have not looked at political history of West Bengal. But one needs to question, why is it that when Trinamool Congress has leaders in whose homes cash is found and media reports it across the board, should the income tax and ED then be faulted? Why is it that when a so-called political consultant is indulging in illegal economic activity and illegally trying to usurp treasury funds, should no agency in this country be invoked and investigate? Why is it that Mamata Bandyopadhyay takes special interest in preserving and protecting private companies instead of ensuring public good? So these are questions that have been debated amongst voters, and that's why you see this historical mandate. But most importantly, the political violent arrogance of Bhaipo was such that he even threatened the Home Minister of India. So where were these liberal minds when the president was being humiliated? Where were these liberal minds when judges were being held hostage? You've had reporters who've been made victims of either threats or violence only because they wanted to report transparently. Where were these liberals when journalism was being crushed in West Bengal? They never spoke up.
What do you make of the fact that even this morning the Trinamool Congress was in the Supreme Court questioning the appointment of central observers and central counting officers?
It is only the Trinamool that can question the CAPF. It is only the Trinamool that can question the Election Commission. It is only the Trinamool that can question the President of India. But Trinamool will never question why illegal immigrants ruled the so-called political discourse of West Bengal under their leadership. Why the Trinamool Congress has gundas going around in Falta actually telling voters that if you don't vote for the Trinamool, we will have the women members of your families raped. It is only the Trinamool that is capable of this political debauchery.
Well, let me also ask you, Assam, West Bengal, Puducherry, all mandates in favor of the BJP, big victory. But in Tamil Nadu, once again, victory elusive, a new phenomenon called Vijay blooms in Tamil Nadu. What do you make of that phenomenon?
I will only say this, Navika, never write off the BJP. Some wrote us off in Bengal. See what we did today.
Okay, and Kerala, where the Congress
like
party
I said, never write off the BJP. When speaking of the Congress party, their leadership could not hold together a so-called alliance.
Well,
which celebrates their consistency in failure and makes that failure a political sartaj. The less said, the better about them.
Smriti Irani,
I think if Bengal can say something, it is that never ever write off the quintessential BJP कार्यकर्ता.
Well, absolutely, nobody can write off the BJP, but what are the lessons for the national picture? DMK out, Trinamool Congress out, left parties out.
It is for the so-called alliance partners of the India alliance. This is an inflection point. For how long will they carry the burden of a loser? That is for them to opine on.
And Rahul
All I
Gandhi
know-
in Muscat. What do you make of that on result
Well,
day?
I'm not a political stalker, but I am politically prudent enough to know that there has been enough evidence given of somebody who is not possibly interested in ensuring that there is any kind of semblance of political sanity in their political ecosystem. It is for the Congress to deal with. It is for the India Alliance to deal with. I had said this before. I will say it again. It is a burden they need to deal with. My, I think, good luck is that I work under a leadership that delivers on good governance, and that has been made evident today by West Bengal.
Thank you very much, Smriti Irani, for joining us, and many congratulations to you and your party for this stupendous victory, not only in Bengal, but also increasing mandate in Assam and Puducherry. Thank you very much. Over to you, Shreya.